Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Uh-huh. So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Your favorite podcast is Critical Blast.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
Hi, I'm Dean Zachary, host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham, where we go beyond politics, beyond calculation, and beyond the big two. Join us each and every Wednesday. Don't miss out.
Hi, I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Silverline Wednesday Night Wham! Hosted by Scott Wakefield.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday Night Wham. I am your host, Scott Wakefield, and I am here with our panel of experts, and we are going to just drop bombs. We're going to blow minds. We are going to you're going to see us in the headlines tomorrow. The stuff that Silverline said Wednesday night is going to go viral. In all truth, we are horribly unprepared, and we have tossed around topics. We're going to talk about stuff we love, stuff we hate. We want your questions out there from the peanut gallery of comic books and movies and storytelling. What you love, what you hate, dumb things that stories do that you just left you wondering why. And we're going to talk about our Kickstarter campaigns. We're going to talk about what's in the future, what's in store for Silverline, and we're going to talk about ourselves to get started, so you guys all out there can follow us and support Silverline. I will get the ball rolling, and then we'll go down the line as I see people in my little Zoom panel here. My name is Scott Wakefield. As Mr. Tim PK said, as I've already said, I am co-authoring and the co-creator of an upcoming title for Silverline entitled Steam Patriots, and I'm also helping out with publicity for Silverline. And if you're watching and you want any of our artistic crew on your podcast or your show, or you want to review what we've created, reach out to us. We love that sort of thing. And my bomb that I'm going to drop is I don't really like Harry Potter.
No, you're fired.
Can talk about that more. Sorry. I can't do the Harry Potter thing there. Whew, it's off my chest. It's out there for the whole universe.
You feel good about yourself now?
I feel a lot better.
Because nobody feels good for you now. I'm telling you that.
Yes.
The hate mail is going to come rolling in. It's okay. It's okay. I can handle it. So down the line, I got Tim TK. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Tim TK. I am the associate editor at Silverline Comics. I help run the website and our craft blog series, and I'm also writing a title which is so far undisclosed. And I think Dr. Pepper isn't that good.
Well, I'll agree with you on that one.
What? Are you a Mr. Pibb man or a
Big Red?
Big? Okay.
Yeah, you're right, though. Dr. Pepper is not that good. Don't tell my wife, though. She's a big Dr. Pepper fan. Oh,
It's the tastiest form of prune juice there is.
Fizzy prune juice. Yum.
That's right. Gets things moving in the right direction.
Let's not get talking about Moxie. Has anybody had Moxie?
Moxie.
I have not.
Is that kind of like a rip-off Dr. Pepper?
Oh.
It's big up in Maine. It's like Dr. Pepper, but with more dish soap flavor.
Oh, God, that sounds so good.
All right.
That was the thing that was missing.
Yeah.
I can't. Ugh. Okay. I'm sure that's going to be a big topic. Dr. Pepper and Moxie. We'll get back to that. Tommy, you are next.
Me, my name is Thomas Flormonti Jr. I have been an inker for the early 90s. Right now, I'm currently working on a book called Trumps. It's based off of the card game for Silverline. I'm inking it. You'll be seeing some inking in the background there, I'm sure. I'm also co-owner. I don't know what I said. Co-owner. Go-owner of the printing company Kablam. My thing that I dislike or like, I think Yorkies are a cooler dog than corgis. That's what I'm going.
False, Tommy. Oh, okay.
Or maybe vanilla ice cream is better than chocolate.
Oh, yes. Hear the man.
Yeah, I could could go for some vanilla ice cream. Love vanilla. They say I'm very vanilla, but no. I love vanilla.
Vanilla is the king of flavors.
I'm telling you, that's what all of the other ones are made from. So why not like that one the best?
It's
the rest of them are just like, let me throw some junk in there and make it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Like eating the dirt instead of the carrot, but whatever.
I think Harry Potter.
The carrots come from dirt. Why not just eat the dirt? Anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Right out of the gate. This is rough.
I avoid all flavors because I'm lactose.
Oh, well, you can get sherbet. You're a sherbet kind of guy.
Actually, yes.
Or yogurt, sherbet and yogurt.
Is it sherbet or sherbet? Discuss. Don't discuss. Okay.
It's an Italian ice. Is that different too?
In Philadelphia, they have a dessert they serve from like the carts, and I didn't believe it. My cousin told me about it. They call it water ice. Well, it's Philadelphia. They call it water ice.
Sure.
Water ice. It's redundant. It's their snow cone. They do lemon. I'm sure they do other flavors, but they call it water ice.
Oh, snow cones. All right. So snow cones are like ices. Which do you like better, a snow cone or an icy, or what is a Slurpee? Isn't that what like the 7-Elevens?
Yeah, I am a 7-Eleven diehard, so my heart will always go for Slurpee.
I'm an icy guy when we go to the movies. Not that I've been to a movie in like 100 years, but when you go to movies, we're icy guy.
The brain freeze.
You know what I don't like about ices though is they give you the straw with the spoon at the bottom, which seems like they're being nice, but it's actually Machiavellian because you get to the very bottom and you
can't get that last little bit out. You're jamming the straw crooked down in there, and then you just take the straw and you tear off the end of it so you can. Well, that's what I do.
I want to have a good feeling when I indulge in a sweet treat. I don't want to have these violent feelings of get to the bottom of this literally. I don't need that. So sad.
Okay, slushy over Slurpee, over icy over snow cone and water
Snow
ice.
cone. Yeah, those are all kind of the water ice.
Water.
If you're in Philadelphia, we love you, but we're sorry. Water ice.
Is that just like a flavored water? Is that what water ice is?
It's a snow cone, unless I'm mistaken. But they serve it in a little paper cone.
So it's still in a snow cone cone.
Yeah. And they call it water ice. That's the best Philadelphia.
It's just water with ice in it. Ice water is what we call it down here in the South when we're getting hot. Yeah.
Ice water.
You know, Harry Potter calls it water.
Water. Yeah, that's right. That's true.
Okay. All right. Next, C. Michael Lanning. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
C. Michael Lanning, penciler for Silverline, working on a project called The Rejects with the great Roland Mann. And I don't think Jim Carrey is funny.
Ooh.
You know, I kind of agree with you a little bit. Sometimes he's funny. Sometimes he's.
You know, I have a hard. There's like 2 movies that I can watch that have Jim. I won't call them Jim Carrey movies, but there's 2 movies I can watch with Jim Carrey in them. I remember one, but I can't remember the other one. I just remember there's 2 movies.
So it's kind of a Dumb and Dumber kind of thing. Is that what you got?
No,
I don't think he's stand up.
definitely not that one.
I don't
He
think
was good in the Grinch. That was really good, wasn't it? Oh no, okay. What's the one with all the cameras? Do you remember when he was doing the camera thing?
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that one either. The Truman Show.
Truman Show. Yeah, I thought that was
Truman Show is probably my top 10.
How about Liar Liar? That was pretty good.
I was working in a movie theater when that came out. I really don't like that.
Maybe it's just exposure.
Well,
I know one is
a movie theater and like Jim Carrey. That's like eating pure sugar.
Pet Detective, right? That's I never liked Pet Detective. I thought that
wasn't mine, but I liked what is it? Sunshine on the Spotless Mind.
Yeah.
And
I never saw that.
It's gonna take me forever to remember what the other one is.
But that was an atypical role for I don't like Adam Sandler.
Oh, God, the God movie where he was
Bruce Almighty.
Morgan Freeman. That was good.
That was all right.
Where?
So you just don't like Jim Carrey, is what you're?
No, I'm not wild about Jim Carrey.
Okay,
Interesting. All right.
I can go with it.
Bruce Almighty filmed in Buffalo, New York. Well,
that was pretty cool, I guess.
Adam Sandler did one. Punch Drunk Love, and he wasn't very Adam Sandler-y, and I think I liked it. I've only seen it once. I might need to rewatch it, but I liked it because Adam Sandler is the same. I mean, just like Jim Carrey, the same and everything.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey. He was speaking about comic book stuff. He was in the Batman movie as the Joker. See, we're going to get this back around.
Oh, the Riddler.
Joker.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The Riddler.
But he was also in Kick-Ass too.
He was in Kick-Ass, right? He was the big. He was a tough guy with a big bodysuit on. Didn't
Y'all
he
are really not making the case for him. I'm telling you that now.
Heath Ledger was okay.
Yeah, Riddler.
Jim Carrey, whoa, he could be the next.
That was the Uma Thurman Arnold Schwarzenegger one, right?
Yeah.
No, it was the one before that one.
Yeah.
That's when it started. It was on the slope, but it hadn't gotten all the way down.
Who played Batman in that one?
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer, yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
How many did Val do?
Lee Jones as Two-Face.
Yeah.
But do you like how I brought it back around to comic books? So
there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Gold star.
All right, now we can go another direction now. There you go. That'll make our master, Mr. Roland, happy that we talked a little bit about comics. And then we'll go
back to that.
Yeah.
He's watching. Roland's.
I'm sure he's watching.
So have we pleased you, sir?
He'll probably jump back on here in a second and say, "Quit talking about me."
The master is displeased. The master will not be happy. Anybody? Manos, the Hands of Fate. Anyone?
Manos. I love me some Manos.
Okay, Mr. Brent Larson, you are bringing up the rear. Sorry.
Ooh.
You know what? I know what you mean. It's all good.
In the end.
My name is Brent Larson. I'm the creator and writer of Kalis, a Silverline title. And here's where I alienate a lot of people by saying I don't like any form of sports. I cannot watch it on TV. If the Olympics is on, I have to leave the room. My wife likes tennis. I can't abide it. Just don't like it.
So like people competing?
I don't
or
like
sports.
Boring.
I mean,
Movies about sports. Boring. Great sports legends.
Are
We're
you?
gonna find a sport
back
that
and
you,
forth
that you
a lot.
like.
I just don't get it.
We can come up with something that you like.
Where's your
You
stance
gotta-
on the Puppy Bowl?
That's not a sport.
Lingerie bowl?
That is an alternative to a sport, which I'm thankful for. So
There you go.
Now, do you not like watching them, or you don't like competing in them? Do you not like participating?
I'm not terribly coordinated. In high school, I was in track and field largely because it's not really a sport. It's like a thing you do on your own, and then you hang
Sure.
out with your friends and they do their thing. Yeah.
So, poker, is that a sport? They show it on ESPN, right?
A,
Yeah, we're gonna
it's
find
not a sport.
something.
B, I don't like poker either.
So it didn't matter. How about like biking or something like that? You know, on a bicycle. If
Biking
you're
isn't
biking.
a sport; it's an activity. Now, competitive biking is boring.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, we'll go with you on that.
Yeah. I'm sorry
how
if
about
I'm
like-
offending anyone, but I mean, it's your fault for liking sports. So.
That's right. Blame the victim. Must see.
Can board games be considered a sport?
Yes.
No, and I don't like board games either.
So particularly not team sports.
But how about video games? Like if you're
Video
playing
games
in,
are awesome, but I can never call that a sport.
but what if you were playing like
and
Madden
getting
football
less
video
healthy?
game?
Can you think of any sport where you play it and get less healthy? That's what video games are.
Oh no, the Wii thing. You remember the Wii game where you had all the Wii or the Dance Dance Revolution thing? You
I do remember that.
yeah.
But
How about the
largely
hot dog
when I played the
competition?
Wii, I was sitting in a
Hot dog
in a
competition. That's right. That is a sport, I
There
guess.
you go. Well, you can gain that way. Sit down.
You gain weight is what you gain. That's what you gain.
It's the wrong kind of gains.
I'm with you
Yeah.
on most of it. And what about going to like a live event, even like going to a football game? I'm not talking high school, like professional football. Is that enjoyable at all? Because I'm not into sports, but I'll enjoy the experience.
Okay. The last sporting event I went to was a hockey game. I went with a men's group from my church, and I took a book, and I got a lot of reading done. So, yeah, for that.
Okay,
But
I know some people don't consider this a sport. How about wrestling? Because that's kind of superhero-y kind of, where the people are dressed up in the costumes and they're doing flying and jumping and elbowing and kicking.
well, you're talking
and,
two things: wrestling that's real wrestling, or wrestling like.
No, it's
World-
professional wrestling, I guess.
Because I don't like either one.
Oh,
I feel like my admiration for pro wrestling grew once I learned it was scripted.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
then-
it's one of those guys being able to
it's-
do what they can do is insane. It's kind of neat that they can do what they can do.
Then it's protein powder ballet.
and not die while doing. Well, some of them do, but not supposed to anyway.
They've done a lot to prevent dying in the last 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Pretty good.
I'm sure there's lots of positive qualities about all these things. I just don't recognize them in my own sphere of worldview, paradigm,
Sure.
zeitgeist, anything you want to say.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can't. People that have all the stats. I worked with a guy that he was into college football, and I'm not into sports. I'm not Brent's level of dislike, but I'm just not into him. He was into college sports, and he would regularly. I'd come into work and he'd say, "Oh, did you see the something U versus something state game?" And no, and then he'd just keep talking. He'd just keep rolling with it. I didn't see it. I don't care. And then the next time there was another match, he'd tell me about it. And then when it would go into pro sports, he'd say, "Oh, I don't like that guy because he went to something U or something state." And I'd say, okay, and I'd remind him, I don't know what you're talking about. It does not interest me. He wanted to talk about it, and I can't get either. It's all the stats. So he's the first to throw 1,000,000 yards on a Thursday night game when the moon is a waxing gibbous, and people eat that stuff up. If you do, fine for you. But I can barely remember who.
We got some action in the chat on YouTube.
What sport?
What are they saying?
It doesn't.
I'm not afraid of you. Whatever you say.
So Scott, Scott has turned into a robot on my end. I don't know if he's frozen for anyone else.
No.
Well, we got rid of him. Yay! Got rid of Scott. Out of here. Now we take over. Now, what do y'all want to talk about?
This is where I tell them we're actually been trapped in our rooms for so many months straight because Scott has not let us leave. So Rory, Royal
I
Airships.
saw him starting to clip there a little bit, and that's probably when he lost.
We're actually
his
in
internet.
cubicles next to each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's right. Pull him into your screen there so you can see him.
Royal Airship says he loves the Wednesday Whammers. Oh, Scott has officially died. R.I.P.
He just faded away. I'm going to do that too.
The Harry Potter comment.
And,
guys will actively seek his destruction because
Emily Ann Hilton says corgis are awesome.
Corgis are cute. But Yorkies are still better. Yorkies, I love. I'm a Yorkie family.
I am pro any dog with fluff butt. If they have fluff butt, I am pro that dog.
Oh, then you like corgis. Corgis got little poofy butts. Yeah.
And Roller Ships also says he likes fencing because stabbing your friends is fun.
Likes what?
Fencing.
Oh, fencing is a sport.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, there you go. What about
Why
fencing?
do you need the points? Just get a sword and go nuts.
Or maybe like with
It's
knives.
more interesting watching LARPing.
Yep. Roy also said the show's got better. Take it away. And we'll see. Would LARPing be considered a weird alternative sport though? Because there is a score system. There are levels involved, and typically you do have factions, and one group wins the weekend.
That's the thing where you get the swords that are wrapped in the plastic and all that stuff, and you're fighting against it. Yeah. Man, when we go to y'all know when you go to conventions and you see those guys doing it, they're beating the hell out of each other.
If you did like an actual event, they usually have like 2 or 3 sides. Each one is captained by like a local HEMA chapter's coach, because they're all just giant nerds. We know that about the. If you're into HEMA, you're
we're
nerd.
at a comic show.
Yeah. But they'll rent out like a campground for a weekend, and they'll have so many objectives set up across like the campground, and it'll be whatever gets the most kills for your army or completes the most objectives. That army wins the fantasy weekend thing.
Yeah, my brother used to do that a bunch back in his college days.
Mm-hmm.
But
actually, now that we talk about it, I don't think that's a sport. That's more like competition.
That's
But think about what sports could learn from that, because the problem I've always had with
they're still fighting. They're still whacking each other and stuff.
Yeah, football takes place on a field. Now, what if the players could go up into the stands and recruit people to be on their team and fight other people in the stands? I'd watch that. That sounds like something I'd be totally into.
Well, maybe we found a sport that you would like now. We can. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Scott looks like he's on his phone now. Maybe.
He's connected.
It looks frozen. Oh man.
There he is. Oh, he's trying. He's trying. I can see his hand. Oh, he froze again.
Yeah. He lost.
We're gonna start a GoFundMe for Scott so we can get him some internet.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
There you go. Maybe it's a little choppy.
I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, man. I just yelled Expelliarmus and you disappeared.
That's right. And I said Accio Scott, and you came back.
Here I am. I don't know what happened to my internet, so I'm on my phone, obviously. Yeah. And my phone is garbage. It got moisture in it.
Oh no!
Like 2 years ago on the selfie camera, and that moisture has been preserved since then. And I'm due for a new phone, so you're gonna get the hazy from the other world, Scott.
but it's working.
Yeah,
so
you
that's
get
all
some
that
like overexposure, some lighting effects, the Dutch angle. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
you've got
Yeah,
great
we're getting a
internet there in the
reflection.
sauna.
Sorry, what did I miss?
We found a sport that
Yeah.
Brent.
We decided to move this to Thursday.
Perfect.
You missed all the. We brought some dancing girls in, and you missed all that, and they're gone now.
Typical Scott just misses all the fun.
Yeah, we revealed that we're actually all in cubicles next to each other, and that you haven't let us leave for 2 months.
You guys are in cubicles next.
Right.
Oh, I missed all the fun. Well, I was ranting about sports and people who know too much. Which is fine. Everybody has their thing, and they all probably say those guys that know too much about comic books or pop culture. So, yeah, everybody's got their geeky thing.
I will say.
So, go ahead.
I was gonna say I did have the weirdest experience getting into fantasy sports. Our D&D group, one of the players is a huge sports buff, so they got us into fantasy football because it's stat tracking. So it's just an RPG, but for jocks. So our entire experience with that was just like meta building football teams like you would a D&D character. And when we talked with an actual football person about it, they got super out of it because we're just way too into the numbers and didn't actually care about the players at all.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I've been in a couple fantasy leagues as well, and I need the leagues. Someone told me, they said, well, this was just set it and forget it. You don't do the draft. It's an auto draft. So the first week we played, for the first Sunday morning.
Right.
It's Sunday afternoon. Somebody says, "Hey, you didn't assign your players." And I said, "Well, I thought it was set it and forget it." I said, "No, you got to put people in the places." So I had like a team of nobody playing the first Sunday, and then I did that, and then I didn't realize that if somebody goes on the injured reserve, I've got to bring somebody else over. So and despite all that, I was about the midway mark with doing nothing, and of course the diehards want to kick me in the crotch because I'm doing nothing, and so okay. When I lived in Alaska, I had to remember because of the time difference. I had to get up in time to assign my guys for Sunday and before the game. 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or whatever.
Nope.
Is that it?
All right. Good night, everybody.
All right. Love you guys. Keep your hands clean. Don't touch your face. Is that what we say at the end of everyone?
Yeah. Roy says we need to do a D&D stream, and I'm not sure if we do live D&D and talk about the correlation between D&D and writing or comic crossovers. I think that'd be a fun topic, especially now that there's such a thing as Critical Role that exists and has created 2 very successful comics based off of a D&D campaign.
How many games have you you created the characters for, and then you ended up writing them into your comics and stuff, which I've done a few times.
Yep, 100%.
So that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, we had one of those accidental 2-year campaigns.
Like 2 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, where you just harass the DM to making it going longer and longer, and by the end of it, we're like, we have enough here to write a Tolkien-esque like saga.
That's what some of those what's it called? The Wizards of the Coast books.
Yeah.
Oh man. With the dark elves.
Yeah, the
Forgotten Realms
PSR,
and all that, yeah.
Dragonlance,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the Dragons of Autumn, Twilight, and Winter Solstice. That whole series by was it Tracy Hickman and
I can't remember the co-writer's name, but I have one of those one of those trilogies up in my bookshelf right now, actually.
Yeah, Tanis, the half elf, and there's the twins.
I know one of
One
them's
of them's a
Sturm.
big tough guy. One of them's a sickly wizard.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to come back into my computer here
yep.
too, so we don't have to
Sturm and
have
Rosslyn.
this. This. Yes, there we go. Get the combo. There we go.
Oh, jeez.
Here, toys.
I like that. Yeah, there's good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, Scott's got
cicadas.
crickets.
Yes, you say you know he's back when you hear the crickets.
Hey, Alex. My
Okay.
artist, Alex Sarabia.
Oh, he joined us.
He's in the Facebook chat.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Alex. So, what do we? Let's move on to some of our heated debates. We all dropped bombs about pop culture stuff we love and hate, which dogs are the best, and how lame sports are according to Brent Larson. So I threw some topics out there for people to chew on, for our folks to chew on before the show. We didn't get a lot of time. Everything was a little bit wonky before we got started. Sidekicks. To quote Jerry Seinfeld, what's the deal with sidekicks? Do we need them? Are they lame? Is there a good sidekick? Anybody?
Is until Robin became his own person. Did we need Robin?
Robin made no sense until they remade him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
if
so good.
you
We're
are
done with
really
Robin then.
treating the war on crime, are you really going to take a teenage kid in with you? I mean, I wonder if Batman ever actually
He
had
knew
his parents-
he knew aerobatics, or he could flip and stuff, and
Yeah, but it's not like he taught Batman how to do any of that.
Yeah,
So
no.
what did, other than
Right, he was an orphan. Of course, Batman didn't have his parents sign a release.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
We're
what it
dead.
was.
I'm sorry. That was really insensitive of me, Robin. Ugh.
yeah, I can only speak on what I know as far as like the movies and everything. I've never really paid much attention to Robin's like a real origin from the comic. So was it the same? I know his parents died, and did he discover Batman, or Batman's like, hey, did you know how to flip? Why don't you follow me?
You can flip.
You can do backflip.
Come join my crew.
You can do flips. You can totally assist me in my one-man war on crime. There is a logical fallacy. There's a missing step there. I could never identify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I love the Batman, the Lego Batman, and how they lampoon. I love the whole the Robin being obnoxious and how they pick his costume out. It's gold. But yeah, it really it's an odd thing, and it makes for some good. What are those bits where they take panels from comic books and they use them out of context?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Memes.
Yeah.
A lot of cringy if you take Batman and Robin out of context.
I mean, we have the widely known Batman slapping Robin meme. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one where Batman's picking out different colored suits, and there's another one where they're in the same bed together, right?
Yeah.
It's
Was it in one iteration they did share like the same bed because it's a different mindset then, where it's like if you're an adoptive father, you might but now if you're to have like if some wealthy man was to pick up an
Robin
orphan
have his own-
acrobat.
Did Robin have his own room? Do y'all ever remember seeing Robin in his own room?
Good night, Bruce.
Yeah, I think he made him stay in the garage, didn't he?
Yeah.
This relationship right
this is
here is
getting
why
weird.
we got David Banner instead of Bruce Banner, because they didn't want to call him Bruce because it seemed a little
Yeah.
so it's like so some people thought some things back in the '60s about Robin. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I'm sure there's lots of treatises written on this, but I mean, Marvel did the same thing. Captain America had Rick Jones for a while. Superman had Jimmy Olsen. It was this weird thought that the heroes weren't interesting enough on their own. They needed to be somehow seen through a lens of some kind of paternal presence in a younger kid's life that somehow humanized them.
I think it also kind of served another purpose as like the audience insert, where where the Fantastic was so new to kind of the everyday reader who had only read A Farewell to Arms, which at some point Brent and I will be doing adapting into a comic.
Good.
Oh, that's
I want to hear it as an audible.
Yeah, there you go. But that they needed that the editors at the time probably felt like they needed to have some sort of person who comes from the real world to have super explained to them in some way.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. The Batman TV show. I mean, who would Adam West talk to to explain the absurdity of of all of that? That's a good point. That's good. I like that. All right. So some a useful reason to have sidekicks. Okay.
They get killed.
That's
you got to
true.
have a sidekick so that way the main character can have a reason to avenge him.
That's another a Batman meme from the animated movie where the butler Alfred asks Batman, he's like, "Why do you wear black?" So my opponents won't shoot at me. So why does Robin wear red? So they won't shoot at me.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, in answer to the question, I would say one of the best sidekicks that there is Dr. Watson to Sherlock Holmes. And the reason why he's so good is because he can do something Sherlock Holmes can't. He can relate to the average person in a real way, not like Rick Jones, where half the time he's walking with Captain America in a battle, I'm just waiting for Cap to turn to him and say, "Why are you even here anyway?" It never happens. But at the same time, when you look at Sherlock Holmes and all of the iterations, there's some certain filmed versions of Sherlock Holmes where Watson just seemed like kind of a buffoon, and it never made any sense. But the best versions of Watson, he's there because Sherlock Holmes actually needs him. And if you consider the idea that Watson somehow gets called away, Sherlock Holmes might not ever leave his house. And if he did, he'd probably get arrested or just piss off so many people that he'd wind up in a ditch somewhere. That's kind of where a sidekick can really shine. And without it, you genuinely wonder why they would be there.
Yeah.
And that's when sidekicks annoy me the most, is when they really have no narrative reason to be in the story.
Well, define what makes a sidekick, rather than just another duo kind of a thing.
Rory in the YouTube chat says, when I think sidekicks, I think the movie Snatch and Jason Statham's quote, "That's Tommy, he's my partner. That doesn't mean we hold hands and take windy walks. It means I try to keep him out of as much trouble as he inflicts on me."
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a good question. I can't remember because I can't remember Snatch too well. Why was that character in the movie?
I don't know if I've ever seen that movie.
So yeah, what's the difference between a sidekick and a partner? Because you're right, Brent. Holmes he does solve most of the problems without Watson, but without Watson's urging, or sometimes him smoothing over something, Holmes would. You're right. He may have been left for dead in the opium den if
that pesky drug habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the line between partner and sidekick?
If I think of partners, I think of maybe like Cable and Bishop or Cable and Deadpool, where they're working together because they have a common objective, but they're two very different people with different end goals past that objective. Whereas with a sidekick would be someone like Robin to Batman, where Robin exists to serve Batman's goals ultimately.
Yeah.
I think we do get some of the best sidekicks when the sidekick doesn't necessarily 100% align with their main lead. So my favorite guys from because DC seems to have sort of the best array of sidekicks to pick on, is Jason Todd, who goes from Robin to Red Hood, and I forgot his name, Rory, not Rory, but other Rory, who's the Green Arrow's sidekick, who becomes Arsenal.
Oh.
And so their focus is, okay, here's this, the hero says, okay, here's this kid who could genuinely be of benefit to me because they know how to fight and how to defend themselves, and they have this kind of same ideas as me. And the kids see that as like, all right, I have a means to an end, until something clashes where Red Hood decides like, hey, what if I start shooting people? And Arsenal's like, what if I just blow people up? What if all my arrows were just explosive?
Yeah.
And so you get some conflict there, but they work towards the same goal, but they're not quite. Oh golly gee, Mr. Wayne, what do I do now?
Jiminy Jillikers, Jiminy Jillikers, Jiminy Jillikers.
Roy Harper, thank you, Brooke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Roy. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Should have known that.
So
So see,
Miles,
that's kind of why I like. And a lot of people don't like him because he's kind of a spoiled brat. But that's why I like Damian Wayne.
Yeah.
He's so much like Bruce without the mask. I guess you say. Bruce can be cordial, but Damian doesn't have that. He's just to the wall. So.
and that's actually a really good point, because answer to the other question, I think the difference between a partner and a sidekick is partners are, and I'm actually talking as more outside the universe, partners are on equal footing. And that's why Lethal Weapon, there's always Riggs and Murtaugh.
Yeah.
There's never Murtaugh and his sidekick Riggs, because they're on equal footing. But Batman's sidekick has been Robin, but the book hasn't really been called Batman and Robin. For the most part, it hasn't.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about Damian Wayne, he's really interesting, and I think their book was called Batman and Robin, right?
Yeah.
In which case, he's no longer a sidekick. He's a partner, because the dynamic of how Damian Wayne works with Bruce Wayne takes precedence over the sidekick role. They're now partners in what they're doing. Even if in the universe he's called a sidekick, I would say he's no longer a sidekick.
Actually, I kind of see it more as an heir apparent. He's going to be the guy when finally Bruce can't do it anymore, that's going to take up that mantle. Even though you got 100 other people that got wings and call themselves something bat or what have you, but he's the one that's going to be he's going to be Batman, as it were.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. I don't know.
I think kind of following along with that, with C. Michael's line, I thought they're one of my favorite relationships to get back on brand of being a giant X-Men nerd is Wolverine and X-23, where if you not the first time she's introduced, because I believe she gets first introduced as a full-grown adult, and then she gets reintroduced and it's like, oh, it's a girl now. But it's just due to their similar circumstances, both being projects of this weapon program, Wolverine sees it fit that he needs to adopt this person so they can have a better early life than he did. Brooke Van in chat says, Aggro, my stream name, mentioning X23 does not surprise me at all. X-Men nerd is my brand. So Wolverine adopts X23 to kind of raise her up in a life that would be better than the one that he was given. And I think that's kind of where you get the sidekick dynamic, where they're not equal footing. It's very much kind of like a trainer-trainee mentality. And then once X23 comes of age and develops her own different ideology and different philosophies and has that little bit of conflict with Wolverine to the point where they can have actual discussions and actual debates, that's when it becomes, Weapon X or the X-Force, where she leads her own team, or different things where it's not Wolverine anymore, it's the team name or the partnership, or even just her own title.
Yeah.
Excellent insight. So, let's see. War Machine, partner or sidekick?
I will say neither on that one because I remember
would
War
agree.
Machine having his own thing. He was more of a spinoff
Yeah.
than
I feel like it changes on the title he's in.
yeah, right.
Didn't he start? He started though as filling in. He'd wear the Iron Man suit, right? In the comic book, he'd wear the Iron Man suit so people could see Tony and Iron Man at the same time. And then the War Machine suit was made. I'm sure there's something in there that I missed, but he came up on a list of sidekicks. I don't see him as a sidekick. I see him as his own character, and they partner up sometimes, Avengers style, and then go their separate ways.
Yeah, I agree with that.
In fact, they even show that in Age of Ultron, where he's talking about grabbing the tank and bringing the tank and setting it down in front of somebody. I can't remember what the story was, but you see, he's not dependent. Yeah, he's not dependent on Tony being there at all.
Right.
Well, but then you have the question, going back to the Dr. Watson, is Dr. Watson a sidekick? Like Rhodey is to Tony Stark kind of like what Dr. Watson is to Sherlock Holmes. Tony Stark is an extreme personality who is so full of himself. I mean, it's his world and the rest of us are just living in it kind of thing. But Rhodey is the guy who's grounded. He's in the military. He knows how the real world works. And yet he can put up with this kind of egocentric jackass. And not only that, but be friends and even work with him. I mean, how does that dynamic work? And answering that question is kind of compelling. And then you've got yourself kind of a sidekick situation, but not one that's mentor-mentee or father-kid, but one that's more like extreme and normal, living in the same place.
So
kind of sidekick relationship.
Would you say that's the time when Robin actually works too? I mean, Lego Batman. Batman doesn't want a family, and Robin's the one that says, "We're your family," and Batman says, "Oh, you're right. I need a family." So, translate into a less goofy storyline, in the comic books, is that the purpose Robin would serve too, to bring him back from being, the dark, brooding loner to the bit of reality.
Yeah.
But at that point in time, though, that Robin being Dick Grayson, when he's bringing Bruce back, he is his own person at that point in time.
Yeah.
So he kind of ceases being a sidekick at that and becomes an equal.
Yeah.
So,
and that's when I think it's less two-dimensional. Like it's the Adam West Batman, and that's just goofy and hey chum, and you're right. They become an actual person, an actual character, and they serve a purpose.
Yeah,
they're
they have purpose. It's either their own or either their own goal or the goal of relationship that is beyond that of the hero's original intent. I kind of along similar veins. I like in some cases in X-Men. Dear God, I need to read more comics. When a Cyclops becomes really isolationist, they'll bring in his younger brother Havoc to kind of be a counterbalance. Where they'd always do like a run beforehand, where they're running Havoc kind of like sidekick to Cyclops, and then Havoc is always the one who's trying to bring him back in line with the Avengers or with humanity at large. And so there still is that like I'm helping you with your goal mentality that makes like a sidekick relationship. But he is actively working to kind of change the hero's goals.
If only, and I don't think my brother's watching tonight, he was a huge X Factor fan in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
And he keeps saying you got to bring up Havoc, Multiple Man. Guido, and it's never worked. So there you go, Steve.
There you go.
We're bringing up X Factor and Havoc, and you're not watching tonight. Yeah, I liked Havoc. I liked X Factor. It was pretty good, but that only lasted a couple years, right? X Factor.
Mhm. Yeah, because then after that is when they kind of started doing the multiple different like X-Men main runs. They had always run an X-Force and then 2 different like X-Men like this Ultimate or Astonishing or whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't they do? I thought they continued it on though. Like, well,
I believe they did
beyond.
I believe they did a relaunch at the same time they did like New Mutants and X-Men 1990 or whatever and all the other stuff. Because
Right.
they after they did that from about until like 2010, they started relaunching older titles. So
Okay.
we got a new X Club with Dr. Nemesis, which I love, but no one knows who Dr. Nemesis is.
Nope. Great name though.
It's
I have a chunk of comics. Well, I'm late to the comics game, but kids and budget did not allow for
Right.
a lot of comic books. And I was trying to look up before the show started. Early, well, let's see, 2003, 4, 5. There was an era because I'm an Iron Man fan. I loved Iron Man, and where they twice in 1 year they rebooted Iron Man, and I started looking at it, but I ran out of time, and because Iron Man jumped the shark with his suit, and I'm just going off complete memory here. I want to look it up. I'm sorry, I'm not prepared, but his suit got crazy. He had an energy sword. He had the little probes that went out and flew off. And the art was weird. The art was that weird art. I'm picky about art. Where their lats come from their shoulders down and their heads are little.
No.
And he was that weird. His arms were really long. And whoever drew him, you're a great artist. I love you. But I couldn't get into it.
You weren't digging it.
Everything is subjective.
What's that?
Is that
Born-
Brooke says the skin armor. So whatever one has the skin armor, that's the title.
But it preceded the skin armor, right? Because then they did the Extremis.
Yeah.
And that was like the second or third reboot of Iron Man from 15 plus years ago. I'm sorry that for everybody who knows all these things, I'm looking like a fool right now. But it was an era I was kind of picking up Iron Man as my budget allowed. And I missed a lot of it. So I honestly legitimately got confused and had to stop. And then I had a buddy who was trying to start a comic book store, and I told him, can you pull a couple, Iron Man, and then go out from there, Avengers and whatever else. And at the time, the new Avengers and all that, I came in once. He said, "Oh, yeah, I've got a stack here," and it was like $90 worth of comic books. I'm glad you're trying to start a store, but I can't single-handedly fund
here's your daily operating budget.
your store. So yeah, and that was the first Civil War time and all that. And
yeah, for the main kind of except for Image, because Image kind of only really does year-long runs at most. Like they have very few titles that go on beyond that. Even now with my beloved X-Men, and I have to find like something that sounds interesting. I'm like, okay, just give me the trade or the year collection. I can't take more than this. I just give me the story I need.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When that's a trope that is out there of the story being so huge. I can't take credit for knowing this one too. I looked up with the Secret Empire that spanned Civil War II, and then Captain America, and then Sam, and then it went all over the place. But you're right. How can you follow that?
And then 2 years later, they release an omnibus. I'm like, okay, good.
Yes. And the first Civil War did that too, and they had the one shot over here and a one shot over there and a one shot over here, and which I guess for a world building thing is really cool.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's tough because to follow all that.
Right. It is kind of the on my own stream. I've been talking about this with a game we've been going hard on called Destiny, but there's a term that picked up in the game space. I believe it applies to all mediums. which is either fragmenting or separating your player base. And I believe you can do that with everything, like fragmenting your reader base.
Yep.
Especially with comics, you have your hardcores are there every Wednesday, picking up all the street titles. And then when an event comes out, they will get the weekly news blast from the front counter, figure out what is needed for following that, whatever. And then you have guys that started out like I did, where it's like I like mutants and I like robots. Give me mutants and robots. And so I just find like 2 titles. And I'm like, okay, let's pick up this one, and then like an event will happen, and I'd have no idea what's happening.
And they don't do that thing anymore, or do they? Correct me if I'm wrong. Where they'll put the asterisk and they'll put the little block, the caption to say see or learn, read more, or find out in such and such number, such and such. They don't. Do they still do that?
I've seen that in a few, but not in everyone. But now they started doing like a paragraph on the page 0.
Yeah.
That will say like previously in blank and blank and blank and blank, and they'll give you like Tony Stark flies to Genosha to discover blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Well, when they had that whole X-Men versus the Inhumans, they had a checklist for which ones you need to get next to follow the story.
Right.
That's what I need. That I loves me checklists and flowcharts.
And I got to the end of that, and I got tired of looking at the checklist.
I don't know, man. That's when the money really comes out, though, because actually Marvel's in the middle of another one now. I think they just launched called Empire.
Yep.
And I picked up Fantastic Four. I think Dan Slott, right? Yeah, is a great writer, and they have the checklist on the back. And there's like 20 titles in there, but I'm only going to read one. And thankfully, I still have a decent idea, at least, of what the Fantastic Four is doing.
I look forward to reading it a year and a half from now.
Right.
When they collect it in a trade.
Yep.
Pick up Marvel Unlimited, and you can click on the storyline, and they'll take you through all of them.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
That's what I love about I do a lot of shopping in Comixology because my friendly neighborhood comic store is minimum 30 minutes away. And just with if I still in Orlando wouldn't be an issue. Over here, it's a little weirder. So I love that where you can just find story arc, Ultron. Okay, here's everything. Great.
Yeah.
Put in cart.
Really helpful.
Yeah.
I had that for a while. Yeah.
So we've gone from sidekicks to we went all over the place with that one. That was good. So
I had a question about a sidekick.
Sure.
I wanted to throw in there. So what we talked about what makes a sidekick, but what about somebody that kind of, in my opinion, should be a sidekick, but they were trying, like, you got, and some people are going to be mad about this, but like Hawkeye or whatever from the Avengers or whatever. To me, is he really more than just a sidekick?
I'd say a lot of times he isn't, but when he gets his own solo work,
just because they give you a book doesn't make you,
right. It makes him really compelling when he's on his own, but I don't think he really gets a whole lot of love in any other setting.
Yeah.
When they did the new West Coast Avengers, where it was led by Kate Bishop, who was other Hawkeye, Clint Barton. Clint Barton was really very much just a sidekick to Kate Bishop, and so, yeah.
Well, I feel like, and I actually have to go after. The things about sidekicks are
we all there? I froze again.
Oh, did he freeze?
Yep.
Scott's really, he wants to make a point.
He's in an action post.
Trying to make that point.
He's in a LinkedIn profile picture.
looks like that looks like a photo for his motivational,
Exactly.
TED talk or something like that. What was I going to say? Like Hawkeye, I've never been a huge fan, but when Matt Fraction got a few years ago, fantastic Hawkeye
guys. I'm sorry.
Which just kind of underscores the point that if you get a good writer who really has a good sense of who the character is, but also what he can be,
right?
You just watch characters you never cared about suddenly come to life, and that's what I love about good storytelling.
Yeah, someone is joking about how kind of at the same point where it really just depends on the view the story is told from and the writer behind it. Someone joked that Captain America's real power is becoming a villain in every other title that isn't his own.
Yeah. So sad. I mean, I don't really care about Rick Jones, but if one of my favorite writers got a hold of him, I'd buy that book.
Right.
I don't have to like the main character. I just need to like the writer.
Yeah.
So. But having said that, I must go, gentlemen. I'm
All right.
sorry. to all
You got
this
to.
bug out
It's
like
time for
this.
you to go to bed.
It really is.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Thanks, Brent. Get some sleep.
You be
Thanks.
good, man.
ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you back to Silverline's Wednesday Night Wham, brought to you by our host, Scott Wakefield.
This
Scott,
is
Scott.
Masterpiece Theater or Wednesday Night Wham. Thank you, Tim TK, for that lovely intro. Well, this is Silverline's crack team. Whittled down as the hours wane and some of us need to go to bed.
Some of us had to go to sleep. I don't know what the deal is.
Unacceptable. Brent, if you're watching this, for shame.
Yeah.
He better not be. He's supposed to be sleeping.
yeah, you better be asleep. We are discussing all things comic books, mostly goofy things tonight. Sidekicks, dropping some bombs about things we don't like that everybody else likes, like sports and Harry Potter, and we all have mixed feelings about all that. Corgis and Yorkies,
Ice cream and
ice cream,
snow
vanilla
cone.
versus chocolate, snow cones versus.
Oh wait, we
water
never did say what was your favorite snow cone flavor.
ice. Ooh,
We didn't talk about that one.
green.
Green, like a lime or spearmint. Spearmint's green.
Oh, no, that's disgusting. Like toothpaste.
Oh, no,
Mine-
come-
I
no,
always like
no,
the I
no
like the really
spearmint.
gross one. I like to get there was a flavor called ice cream. Did you remember that? But I would get extra cream on it, so it was ice cream with cream. Snow cone. So it was, I don't know what it was, but it they put that pet condensed milk on top of it. Oh boy, I love that stuff.
So
I'm gonna go now. I'll be back in a minute. We'll get some snow
Yeah,
cone.
just shaved ice with the consistency of Bailey's.
Yeah, there you go. That's a mudslide. Oh, I
It
love
is, yeah.
mudslide.
Yeah.
That's my
Uh,
favorite snow cone. It's a white
Before-
Russian or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Good. That's good. That's good. We're gonna get into this is the inside the minds of the Silverline crew here. We're gonna talk about our favorite lame characters. We've talked about sidekicks and the difference between a sidekick and a partner. What makes a good sidekick? What makes an interesting sidekick? What's the point of some sidekicks? We talked about sidekicks. We listed off a couple lame sidekicks. And what's the point sidekicks? I came across Free Spirit, a 1994, introduced in 94, attractive and scantily clad female sidekick to Captain America, who was probably seemingly so useless that she didn't last very long.
Did she get killed?
You know, let's see. I got to look this one up because I don't even remember her. So unpopular with fans. Now, this is from Goliath.com. I'm going to give them credit. That lasted about a year and then disappeared, seemingly with no explanation.
She got wrote out of the story. She was gone.
Goodbye. We had Rick Jones, Incredible Hulk's sidekick, honorary member of the Avengers. He had no powers, no talent, no reason to be any hero's sidekick.
You know, in the creation of a lot of this comic book stuff is, you know, when we throw things in the books, and if they don't stick, we just move on to the next thing. Because you know, why spend 4 or 5 books working on something if the people are like, I don't care anything about that, you know? So we just we move on to the next thing.
And if it gets too convoluted, we'll just create a whole nother Earth number 5231.
That's right, and start over again. That's right.
Yep.
Just pretend it all never happened.
Yeah, never have.
No, this is another universe.
Take the stuff that worked, and then and we get rid of all the rest.
The first Hulk movie with Eric Bana, right? Just pretend
that didn't even happen. What are you talking about?
or midichlorians, right?
Oh God.
Those never happened. So super lame sidekicks. This one is from the Fantastic Four's animated series, Herbie.
That's the VW bug,
Yeah,
right? Herbie the Love Bug.
Now, if Don Knotts was part of this, I'd
Oh,
be all over.
was the car a sidekick?
No, it's a.
Oh, okay, we're talking about something else now. Okay.
Probably would have been popular if they had a Volkswagen Bug.
You know what? I would buy that one.
Apparently, in the animated series, they could not have the Human Torch because there was some sort of dispute over character rights. So they created this R2D2-esque character called Herbie, and I can't humanoid experimental robot B-type integrated electronics. That's what Herbie.
Oh, okay. So it meant something actually.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
they sounded
made
like
it
it tried
mean
to.
something anyway.
Yeah.
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 They worked it into something.
Sort of a nanny to Reed Richards, sort of a snarf to
Sure.
Lino Snarf. Susan Storm, their son Franklin, Herbie, and then I think this is the best one. So Goliath.com gives number 1 to Uncle Marvel, 1943. This is now DC Comics. This is, remember, that Captain Marvel that was in DC and then
Became Shazam later on.
Exactly.
Right.
Uncle Marvel was a charlatan who claimed to be related to the superpowered Marvel family and was cast as a deadbeat who was trying to worm his way into the lives of Captain Marvel and his real family. They saw through his ruse, and they decided to keep him around as their manager, despite his lies and deception. Why does a superhero need a manager anyways? Maybe it's comic relief, that's what they say. No one found him funny, and he got old quick.
Sure.
He's like a chubby, look up Uncle. I love it. So those are our lame sidekicks. Okay, so then top lame superheroes or useless superheroes or characters. There's lists everywhere. My favorite is Codpiece. Is anyone familiar with Codpiece? Not. Oh, he's
what universe was he in?
So he was in DC.
A DC character named Codpiece.
Perfect.
What year?
He's part of the Doom Patrol villain.
Okay. Doom Patrol is actually good.
Yeah.
And let's see. I'm looking up a year here. Doom Patrol number 70. Where's the? I mean, you should all know what Doom Patrol number 70 is. The year.
Of
right?
course, yeah, we got it. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I remember.
I like that catalog here.
So, well, he apparently had a female chuckle during intimacy, I guess.
What?
And, yes, he was not happy with her response. And
his name was Codpiece, and she was Chastity Belt, right?
Yes,
That's what
yes. So he created.
They were a team.
He created.
No, Doom Patrol probably.
That's right. That's why they were doomed, because of these names that they came up.
Is this the Grant Morrison Doom Patrol? Because
they weren't in the movie. I don't remember in the movie.
No, insecure high school student.
That's it.
So he created a transforming weapon. I would liken it maybe to Penguin's umbrella, but this attached to his area.
Huh.
So Codpiece, and it says, according to comicvine.gamespot.com, he appeared in one issue. So
of course,
good.
Gadgets that attached to the Netherlands. I think that's
the Netherlands. That's where he was from. The Netherlands. Oh, Netherland. Oh,
the Nethers.
The Nether region. Gotcha.
The tenders. So that's my contribution to the lame superhero discussion. Who's got another one?
Mine I just discovered because I have not committed to memory. Sort of the oddities. But out of the annals of Marvel's NFL Super Pro,
Oh,
he had a character on a super team called the Almighty Dollar, who could shoot loose change from his wrists.
Oh my god.
Let me see Marvel.
what?
Let's pull him up on Marvel database here. He's got to be on Marvel database, right? Okay, Marvel fandom. Okay, he's just a normal-looking dude with a mustache and Ray-Ban glasses here. His Marvel fandom page is blank. Okay, here we go. J. Pennington Pennypacker was an average CPA.
Wait, say that again.
J. Pennington Pennypacker was an average CPA until he attended the camp Run-a-Monk Self-Esteem Camp. The camp was actually a front for a scientist who invented a device that could give anyone superpowers. When the device was used on Pennypacker, he was given the ability to shoot pennies from his wrists. Pennypacker used his newfound powers to defeat his captors along with his fellow campers. And then he joined to Hero NFL Super Pro.
Oh, and this is in the Marvel universe?
This is the Marvel universe. This is Marvel canon.
Oh my. Whenever there's ideas like this, I love to think about the creators, the writers. They're sitting around the table, and somebody's like, "I got an idea,"
right?
And then that idea goes far enough where everybody's, "Oh yeah,
let's do it. Let's do it.
Run with it."
Yeah.
What?
Hey, you can get somebody named Batman to work. You can get.
Well, it is a good.
Yeah.
It's a good point. I found a codpiece is 1993, so not that long ago.
Pennypacker was 92.
Okay.
What's going on in the 90s?
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's
now
like,
we see how come Image was made.
Yeah.
right. It's like right at the peak, right? Like, and then because mid 90s is when it all just kind of.
Yeah.
So what were they trying with codpiece? Pennington Pennypacker. I can shoot. Oh,
We're running out of change.
pennies. I mean, like if it were quarters, he could use it at a vending machine or something,
Right.
or paid. But pennies.
But people still feel like pennies that shoot so fast it's like a beam. But I want to know, like, the velocity of getting hit with a penny.
Ow! Stop! That's mildly annoying.
Yeah.
Stop!
They must have been trying that whole Nick Fury and the Howling Commandos, where they bet Stanley he couldn't create something from the most ridiculous name, and he did.
Right. Yeah.
And it's stuck. Oh, codpiece. We could do that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
So, and then it seems like the entire, now, again, coming from a northeastern Buffalo, Western New York native, the Great Lakes Avengers. Oh, they're just.
Now, what is that? That was.
They appeared. They were introduced in West Coast Avengers, and I had to look this one up. So number.
So this is a Marvel book.
Yep,
Okay.
July of 1989. And they so their headquarters were in Milwaukee. Members included Mr. Immortal, and now he appears on another list that I found of the lamest superheroes because he couldn't die. And
I thought you said immoral, like like he's not a great fella, kind of. He's really immoral.
he lies a lot.
He's just a bad guy. He's
Steals
a politician, on his real life, and then he goes into superhero stuff or super bad guy stuff or whatever.
Tommy, you might be onto something. Copyright Tommy Flormonti.
That's
Mr.
right.
Immoral. Mr. Immoral. I
know a printer that can print that book.
Do it.
Start working on it.
Write the story. He's taking kickbacks. He's lying.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is good. Fudging his taxes. I like that.
Cheats on his wife. That kind of thing.
Mr. Immoral.
Yeah.
So we had Big Bertha.
God, that's great. That's a wrestling name there.
Yeah, Big Bertha. Flat Man, Doorman, and then we had some crossovers for Hawkeye. He was there.
Well, that seems right then.
Yeah,
based off of what we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
my favorite Avenger.
What does Hawkeye really do? Then we got, oh man, wow, this list is great. Squirrel Girl, Monkey Joe,
Squirrel,
Grasshopper, Tippy Toe. This puts Deadpool in there. This is interesting.
He was bored.
This is like they must have been a revival of it in September of 07.
Yeah, that's the number one I have.
Then false members, Leatherboy. I gotta look Leatherboy up too.
Could this just have been a way for Marvel to just let's make up a bunch of characters and then let's put them in a book, and that way we kind of get a copyright on them. If something clicks, like, oh, well, Deadpool works, so we're going to use him for something else. Is that what this book was about?
I don't know. I need to do a little more research because it's so lame. Squirrel Girl. I mean, I know Squirrel Girl does something very important, doesn't she?
She later ends up becoming one of the she's one of the most powerful characters in Marvel now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It was a what if, wasn't it? It wasn't
Was it a real one?
I think it was like a what if.
That was canon.
Squirrel Girl. Is it? No. Would she beat Thanos?
Yeah, she beats Thanos.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't was it Hindsight Lad, right? Doesn't he?
That's a good. If I would have done this other thing, then I could have beat Thanos if I would have just done that instead of But I didn't, so it's okay. If I would have just
Lad,
but I went for the head.
Instead of the chest with the chest bleed, the arms were bare and all that kind of stuff. But no, I'm going to hit the armor in the middle.
Right.
And I know his arms, his neck, his everything is open. But no, I'm going to hit the armor instead, and then
this might be a whole nother topic.
All he does is point out what people did wrong.
That's right. That's a great character.
Stupid.
He could jump between. He could be like the half version of every book. Like you have like your Spider-Man 300 something, but he'd be like 300 and a half. He's standing off to the side talking about there's Spider-Man. If he would have done this instead of that, he could have done the other. Yeah.
He's the one they always forget when they go on missions.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, in hindsight, we should have brought him.
In hindsight,
you could have done this. But if I was only there,
as useful as Doctor Strange is, because I mean, like Doctor Strange could be like Foresight Lad, right?
That's right. Yeah. Doctor, I told you so. That's what he could.
And Hindsight Lad's like the opposite and completely useless.
Mm-hmm. That could be a good book.
Yeah.
It seems like he's probably got to be like the most like slappable character. Like, guys, just shut up. Hindsight Lad.
The new Batman Robin memes, Captain America.
Yeah. Hindsight. Like, he New Warriors annual number 3. And it says this is from CBR.com. His post-battle criticism didn't make him an asset in the field, so the New Warriors only allowed him a desk job doing administrative.
You're gonna have you got the big the Avenger headquarters, or the Avengers headquarters and stuff. You got to have people that are working and they're cleaning and stuff. Let's go book on those guys.
He's the guy that analyzes like the post-play tape.
Nothing against janitors and stuff, but you got to have. I mean, there's jobs other than saving the world. You've got to clean the toilets and take the garbage out. There needs to be
the
those
real
books.
Heroes behind the heroes.
They are the real heroes. Those books need to be told. Those stories need to be told.
Unsung heroes. Hindsight with his mirrors on his helmet.
That's right.
Facing backwards, right?
Yeah. So stupid. So stupid. Oh gosh. I love it.
They better not take our ideas. We copyright and trademark.
This guy only appeared just once, I think, the Legion of Superheroes DC. This is DC. Arm Fall Off Boy. And what does he do? Well, he can take his own arm off
Beat you
and
with
beat
it.
people.
Now that's not,
Tracks.
well, we're getting into a touchy subject. It could be he could be handicapped, right? And so
that's a good point.
so
We
so
can't
quit
make fun
making
of-
fun. Nope.
we can't- I'm so sorry. I'm so
Yes.
sorry. I can't make fun of arm fall off.
Rewind that one. Start over again. Go back about a minute and next.
One of the greatest superheroes of all time. Arm fall off. Boy, lad. What was his
Boy,
name? Boy.
kid, fella.
He is. They're going to make. They should make a next movie. The next movie about him. I'm going to petition an arm fall off boy movie, and it should be a huge budget, huge hit.
Well, he could be in the next Avenger movie. Why not? They lost some of them this last one. They need some more. Maybe they can do maybe it can be on Disney, the Disney Plus channel. They need some more stuff.
Of arm fall off boy. I like this line here. They say he has the power of almost every single action figure that's ever been.
That's right. All the ones that are falling apart. That's him.
Push their arms down too hard and they pop out of socket.
With 11 catchphrases.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. I don't know why they spend their time making these characters. They're
well, they hope they stick. I bet that's what it is. I bet a lot of it is just or somebody sneaking in their own little funny thing, and they're hoping that then you got to give me some money now. You got to give me. You use my character. You got to give me some money.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, I don't take this seriously anymore.
I mean, I feel like someone's got to catch an editorial though, because like at the point we have like okay, we got Superman's doing great, Batman great, okay, the Flash also doing great. What's this, an arm fall off boy? What's he do? Just put him in, I guess.
Just do it. Run with it.
Run. Make that book. It's a new number one. We got to get new number ones. We need a bunch of number ones. So
we'll give him a new name later. What was this? Changeling? Beast Boy?
Yeah.
Of all the names to stick, Beast Boy sticks, not Changeling.
Right.
That's true.
If you had whatever issue Arm Fall Off Boy appeared in, it'd probably be worth something.
Emotion value at least.
Cover price, but
I'm gonna have to go look for that one.
Great Lakes Avengers. Okay, here's one. Controversy, maybe. I don't know. We might all be in agreement. Jubilee.
Oh. Nope.
She has her moments, but
she worked out pretty good.
Yeah. They've done better at actually making her play a role more modernly, but up until they decided to relaunch X-Men 95, like in the actual the 95 run on the actual X-Men comic TV show at the time, it was kind of like, what does she do? She's not even. Yeah. Now
I still get. That was always it was, believe it or not, was always one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, now when they relaunched it, it's actually this plasma energy that looks like fireworks, and she's actually searing people alive, and that makes sense. Yeah,
not ow,
Get the sparkler out of my face.
Pennington, they're throwing pennies.
Yes, that's right.
Hey, she messed up some Sentinels now. Don't
It's true. If they played more to it being plasma energy, she's just a walking EMP, that'd be dope.
Right. So I was introduced to her. My first introduction was with the '90s cartoon. But she was more. Now I haven't gone back to watch it. I don't know if it stood the test of time, but I loved that cartoon.
It's still great.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
She was the one that got in trouble that Wolverine had to look out for, though. If I remember
that was
correctly.
the thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the X-Men book that I first saw her in. I'm trying to remember. I know I've got it.
Let's see.
My boxes of comic books that I'm trying to still keep hidden in the other room. Don't tell my wife.
Juanita for a living again?
1989 Uncanny X-Men number 244. Yep. So that's when she arrived.
Yeah, that sounds about right. first or second year in college for me. And remember it was some X-Men. I remember seeing her on the cover. I can see the cover in my head.
Well, there's got to be some reason that they decided to use her in the series instead of somebody, like Kitty Pryde. They didn't even.
Yeah.
I don't even think Kitty Pryde showed up in the cartoon, did she?
No, not that I remember.
No.
And and she had such a huge role, the same type of role that Jubilee showed in the TV show, in the comics. Welcome to the team, Kitty Pryde. Hope you survive. That was kind of what was it the start of the Claremont?
Yeah.
I'm
series?
trying to look it up.
And then the movie used Rogue instead of those two, right? To be the come
It was
on.
X-Men 244. Oh, that's not the one I'm thinking of. I don't know.
Yeah, I was she was kind of a Wolverine sidekick in the cartoon, and I was more of an Avengers guy, so my X-Men knowledge beyond the cartoon and then the movies was pretty limited, I guess, compared to Tim, who admittedly has read too much X-Men. I'm quoting, consumed too much X-Men.
Yep.
Jubilee. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I got a.
Oh, she was in the movies. I forgot, wasn't she?
Jubilee.
Yeah.
She was actually
a
in two of the
character that
movies.
was supposed to be her. We didn't get the
first. She showed up in a deleted scene of the first one, only for a second, and then she was in that Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Oh.
So how can she be on your list of worst characters and stuff if she was in the movie? Come on now, she can't be that bad.
But I don't think that's a good criteria.
Yeah. We almost got a cool Psylocke movie out of it, and then we didn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I want some good representation for Psylocke. Cassisi points out that Jubilee had just had the '90s look, wardrobe goggles. So I think really it was really just been down
yellow jacket.
It might just come down to design, where she was designed to reflect the mood of like the late '90s, just very rad and out there, and that nothing else. The tone stuck.
I tell you, I was thinking about those movies today, and one thing that made me mad is Cyclops is probably my favorite X-Men. And they completely, the first one did all right, and then the second one he gets mesmerized, and the third one he dies, and it's like, really, you took one of the best X-Men and just barely had him in the franchise to begin with.
Yeah,
I was like, man, that's infuriating. I used to like those movies.
I love the X-Men movie was one of the first like superhero movies that did superhero stuff with special effects. When Wolverine crashes his truck, goes smashing through the windshield of his truck, and it gets in a fight with Sabretooth, I was like, this is a superhero movie. This is really cool. And then you're right. Then just like down 2 and 3, and I love Cyclops, and they ruined him for the movies.
Who directed Days of Future Past? That wasn't Radner, huh? That was, I can't remember who it was, but I think what was good about that one is you actually saw their teamwork.
Yeah.
And that was always what was missing is they each played a different role, and they always kind of want to showcase, here's Wolverine, here's Wolverine, so. And I really liked how they worked together. You had Bishop and Blink and all of them working together. And I really wish to see more of that. Excuse me. But no, we're just going to kill off some people.
Yep.
Okay with it.
Not to jump subjects. What are you working on? What are you drawing there? I know it's a motorbike of some sort. What is this?
Yeah, I am working on one of the characters for the upcoming book Rejects. His Buck Cycle. His name is Buckshot, and this is his Buck Cycle.
Cool.
And just
is that like made off of a different bike that you're working?
I took inspiration from
That's it, inspiration. There you go.
I took inspiration from the Dodge Tomahawk, I think it is. It's like supposed to be one of the fastest bikes in the world. I made some moderation or
The big fat tires in the front and the back.
Oh yeah. Well, there's 2 tires actually. I need to.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, because it's bad. It's a bit so.
So would it be a motorbike if it's got 4 tires? That'd be more like a car that was just real thin, wouldn't it?
I don't know. They say it's the fastest bike in the world. So we'll.
Oh, there's bikes like that that's got 4 tires in the front?
Yeah.
Or is that like a Spider? It's got 3 in the front, or 2 in the front and 1 in the back, kind of a thing.
No, I think they're two together on the front, and 2 together on the back. Real close together.
I'm not sure what it actually does for mechanics wise, but it looks cool.
Oh yeah, it looks cool. Can you imagine changing the tire?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, because it's kind of like it has this hydraulic system that kind of holds it to place here. It's like, golly, I don't know.
So if you lose
They
pressure,
got like one axle that runs all
the
the way through it, or is it just one?
I couldn't tell you. It looks cool.
Oh, come on, you're drawing it, man. You got to know how it works, man. Gotcha.
What's the displacement? The liquid displacement?
Is it a chain or is it like a belt driven or something?
See here, right here, there's these tires. These tires will go on the road.
Yeah, it's a fun fact for aspiring comic creators.
You sit in the seat.
Don't need to know how it works.
Don't need it. It just runs.
Sometimes you make something just because it sounds cool.
Yeah, hey, look, it looks like the thing. They say that one runs. I'm trusting in modern engineering.
So the line I love from the Iron Man movies is, and this has been what I've had in the back of my head for a steampunk world for Steam Patriots, is you don't have to explain how it works. The line is when, and I'm going to butcher it probably, when Obadiah Stane is yelling, "Tony Stark did it in a cave," and he says, "I'm not Tony Stark." Mm-hmm. And that's it. That's all you need to explain the whole Iron Man world. They don't have to explain how the reactor works and how the repulsors and all that. They don't have to explain that.
Right.
That line. So for in like the steampunk world, like you got like a steam powered jetpack. What are you putting?
How's that going to work? It works. It just works.
It just works.
You see me flying. Obviously, it works.
It works. Yeah, Steam Boy. He's got a steam powered jet,
right?
Which I love. I love Steam Boy. So don't try to explain. So yeah, it just works.
When are we going to see more of your stuff? Your book?
Hopefully soon. All the art is in. I gotta figure out how to load it into Dropbox for you guys to show off. When my colorist can be on, he's going to start coloring soon, and we'll be able to watch him. But he's got his computer set up is at home, I guess, and with the kids around and so forth, it makes for a difficult showing. So soon we'll see that. I think it's a good time to start wrapping up, unless we have any other world-changing, earth-shattering remarks to make.
Vanilla.
Yes, yes, vanilla, the king of flavors.
The one that they're all made out of, even though we're talking about dirt and carrots and stuff. Vanilla.
Tommy, why don't you start? We're gonna tell everybody who we are again. We're gonna wrap up where to find us, how to support us, and likewise by supporting us, supporting Silverline and the comic book world at large. Tommy, start. If you can show Tommy's screen what he's been inking.
Oh, that's up to Tom if he shares it.
Oh yeah, Tommy.
It's not. It's all turned off already, so I've got to flip it back.
No, well then,
I'll just talk.
Well, go ahead, Tommy.
Yeah, you can find me all over the interwebs. My name is Thomas Floramonte Jr. Just look for Floramonte, and I'm on pretty much everything. I do have a TikTok page, but they're TikTok, yeah. Yep. But there's nothing on it, so don't go to it. But but just look for Floramonte. You can go to infernostudios.com to see all my creator-owned stuff and buy any of those books. But the Trumps book that I'm working with Roland Mann will be, I think we're going to kickstart it sometime in September. The penciler, which is also named Thomas, he's got 2 more pages to go, and I'm just inking as we go. It's looking pretty good. Then the colors are beautiful. So
nice.
We'll start showing that more pretty soon. So
that's awesome.
Yep. So Floramonte, Florimonte. There you go.
Thank you, Tommy. C. Michael Lanning, what have you been working on? Where do we find you?
C. Michael Lanning. You can look me for the artist C. Michael Lanning on Facebook. working on the rejects, hopefully coming soon. Hopefully to start have my layouts in by this week, and hopefully start working on the pages next week. So, and that's with Roland Mann, Rebecca Winslow, and we're just excited to work on it. So.
Sounds great.
And I'm still not convinced about Jim Carrey. So
You're probably right.
Yeah, you're probably right. Tim TK, go ahead.
I'm Tim TK. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Liker at Tim TK Writer. I am on TikTok at Tim Doesn't TikTok, where I mostly talk about being a confused millennial. And Zillennial? How do I fall on that? Yeah. I'm at the point where
what day is it? I don't know.
Our generation got subdivided. Now I have no idea where I fall anymore. And I'm also on here on Twitch at AgroBacon, where I'll be live later tonight streaming Destiny, and I'm always down to talk about working in comics in chat. And Big Red is still better than Dr. Pepper.
I will wrap it up. My name is Scott.
You
Wakefield.
didn't tell us about the shirt that you have on.
Oh, who? Huh?
Your shirt.
Me?
Your shirt. Your Silverline shirt. If anybody wants to buy Silverline products,
find this shirt. Where do I send people?
We'll tell Roland to put it in the like they say on YouTube. It's going to be in the information below.
It'll be in the information. I think, is there a link from silverline.com?
There is. I forget what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go to silverline.com. Everything you ever wanted to know and buy from Silverline is there, including all of our comic books. Go to kickstarter.com and support our current campaign, Friar Rush and Bloodline, two awesome stories, two great comic book stories. Go to silverline.com to purchase issues of all of our stories. Support independent comics. My name is Scott Wakefield. I am, if you want to connect professionally, I'm on LinkedIn. You see me wearing a tie.
LinkedIn.
You got to do one the extra action hand pose in for the picture.
And I've co-created with my good buddy Rory Boyle, who is out there. Love you, Rory. Steam Patriots. We are at Steam Patriots on the Facebooks and the Instagrams. Follow us there. That title is coming soon from Silverline, and I think that's all about me. Go to Kickstarter and support our projects. Comment below. You can comment later. Stay in touch with us on the socials. We love the feedback from all of you, from our Silverline family. Thank you for watching. And from all of us, make mine Silverline, and good night.
Good night.